Hello everyone, I'm Stacey from Missing Mysteries and welcome to my channel today, or good morning, good afternoon or good evening from wherever you are around the world. I hope I got fans across the world anyway, but if not and you're in the UK, it's currently 5 in the afternoon, so yeah, thanks for joining us today and I'll get on to information on our video. So this case is about a young man that went missing from Resolven in Neath, and his name is Robert Williams. So Friday, March 22nd, 2002, it was early morning in Resolven in Neath in South Wales. It was a temperature of around 12 degrees and it was quite a clear day with a very slight breeze in the air. Now 15-year-old Robert Williams had said to his mum that he was off out and that he would see her later. But shortly after having a row with her earlier that morning, Robert left his property appearing happy as he exited around the corner, and he's never been seen since. It's stated that Robert had plans to attend a house party in nearby Aberdylis, of which he is alleged to have attended on Saturday, March 23rd, 2002, and he's never been seen since. No one has seen him, heard from him, or knows where he is. And Robert is still a missing person and is one of South Wales's biggest missing person cases in history. With witness statements and only 2 arrests since his disappearance, Robert's out-of-character disappearance remains baffling and concerning to all affected. Now 2 decades later, Robert would have been 37 years old, so near the same age as me. South Wales Police continued their appeal and have recently made 2 arrests that took place on September the 26th, 2023. There will likely be a follow-up video once there has been an update on the case. Today, Missing Mysteries explores the case of Robert Williams. Robert was born on September the 9th, 1986 and would have turned 37 this year. At the time of his disappearance, Robert was described as white, 5'4" tall, with a slim build and mousy brown hair and brown eyes, which you can see in this photo here. Robert was a likeable character who was known for making people laugh. His mother explained that he was never seen without a ball, whether it was a football or a rugby ball, and he loved everything about it. His mother also added that when he was younger, he would get up to mischief and that the household was never quiet with him around, like most teenagers. It is also rather sad to hear that just before his disappearance, his mother had said he had changed from a happy boy to a sad young man. A fellow pupil on his Facebook claimed that Robert was known as being a nice boy in school. He had a lovely personality. Born in South Wales, Robert lived at home with his mother Cheryl Davis and younger brother, and at the time of his disappearance, Robert was living in Resolven, a small village within the Neath Talbot area of South Wales. Robert had a loving relationship with his mother and acted as a typical teenager in the family home. It is not known the circumstances around his father, so I'm unable to provide information on this. Robert's mother Cheryl has stayed in contact with police over the last 21 years and has made numerous appeals to local and national media, newspapers and on BBC's Crime Watch. Cheryl has said in her appeals, "The last day I saw Robert was in the morning. We'd had a row. He walked out of the door. I watched him going and I thought, he'll be back. But he never has. I never saw him after that day. It's been very hard to cope with. I've got to be strong for his brother as well. He misses him terribly, the same as me. Someone out there knows what happened to him. As a mother, knowing my child is lying somewhere has destroyed me emotionally and physically. I need to know what happened to him." So the timeline leading up to his vanishing has been traced up to a certain point, but unfortunately from there the timeline ends at the point where it is confirmed that Robert was seen at a house party on Saturday, March 23rd, 2002. Robert had had a row with his mother that morning, but was nothing more than a usual disagreement. It is not known why they argued, as this has never been disclosed. Robert left his home in Hailton Mine, Resolven, and was seen to be happy as he exited the corner from his house, At this point, it was the last time he was seen, as he said to his mother, "I'm off out, ma'am, I will see you later." At this point, it feels a little bit of a contradiction, because they'd obviously had a row, but then he left quite happy, so I've kind of always questioned that. I'm not sure what you guys think, but pop your thoughts in the comments below. The police then conducted multiple interviews and searches and confirmed that Robert had attended a house party in Tyrfellin in Aberdulais. The distance from Robert's house on Hailton Mine to Tyrfellin is approximately 5.6 miles. This would take about an hour and 50 minutes to walk. It is not known where Robert stayed during the period of the Friday into the Saturday. It has been confirmed, though, that Robert was at a house party in Tyrfellin, and it was confirmed by other house party goers. It is alleged that Robert left the house to attend another house party locally, but this has never been confirmed by the police. There's been witness comments made that Robert was seen on the way back of a motorcycle in Neath Abbey, which is approximately 3.5 miles away from Tyrfellin. The police have stated in their records that they believe Robert was within the area a few days following his disappearance. It is thought that witnesses claim to have seen Robert up to 3 months after his disappearance, although nothing has ever been fully confirmed. They also carried out proof of life inquiries, but again, that left them empty-handed. Other unconfirmed sightings of him have been made and extensive inquiries, but have all led to the same conclusion that no one knows what's happened to Robert. There are also old newspaper reports stating that rumours were spread around the possibility that Robert decided to run away with a travelling circus at the time, which was based in Neath, although this has never been verified. The police carried out a huge search of Resolven and the surrounding areas immediately after Robert's reported disappearance. So for those who don't know the area, I'll share some images for you now to see, but it is within a massive, sort of rural area, so you've got a long stretch of dual carriageway between Resolven and then other areas towards Neath and then towards Aberdare direction, and there's loads of green land, there's rivers, there's streams, there's trees, woodland. It is a huge area. They've carried out multiple lines of inquiry, including obtaining over 100 witness statements from people at the party as well as locals on their travels. Police say they also searched the National Fingerprint and DNA database and checked medical records. Detective Inspector Dybut added in the appeal, "All outstanding missing person cases remain open and are revisited periodically in case a new evidence comes to light. We remain committed to finding out what happened to Robert. I believe that the local community of Aberdulais holds the key information that might help us understand what happened to him." It is known that Robert attended a house party in Tyrfellin, Aberdulais on Saturday 23rd of March 2002, where other local people were present. If you were at a party or have any information regarding Robert's movements or disappearance, we'd really like to hear from you. It may seem challenging to recall details from 21 years ago, but no matter how small or insignificant you think the information you hold is, it could prove vital to our investigation and could help provide Robert's family with much needed closure. At this time, without answers, it has been agony for them. Please, if you hold this information, it's not too late after all this time to come forward. In 2011, South Wales Police said that its inquiries had so far been unsuccessful and that there is tragically no evidence that Robert Williams is alive. On September 26, 2023, South Wales Police stated a 59-year-old woman and a 35-year-old man have been held by detectives investigating his disappearance. Now we've got some key points to consider. So the first one is, Robert had a row with his mother that morning of his disappearance. It's not known what the row was over. Is this significant in relation to him disappearing? So for example, did he think, stuff it, I'm not going home anymore, I don't want to be around anymore? Maybe he had thoughts of suicide. Maybe he thought, I'm just going to go away for a little while because she's doing my head in, that type of thing. We're not really sure there. The second point is, Robert didn't return home on Friday the 22nd of March 2002. Where did he go that evening? Because then, on Saturday the 23rd of March 2002, it was confirmed that Robert had attended a house party and was seen by multiple witnesses who corroborated this. So there's a huge query there. If on the Friday Robert had gone out and then he was seen on the Saturday, clearly on the Friday he had stayed somewhere. So whether that was in somebody's house or whether he just slept somewhere locally or maybe a friend or something, no one seems to know where he was. The fourth point to consider then is that it was reported that Robert was seen to leave the house party and was alleged to have attended another house party locally. So you're talking 3 parties within 2 days. That's quite a lot. It's not impossible, like we've all done it, but where did he go, and has this been confirmed by anybody? Because the police are not sharing that. The fifth point then is, so where did he go? That's a big question. His family remain hopeful that Robert is still out there alive and well, but have accepted that in actuality it is likely that Robert is sadly deceased. So the first one is, Robert was harmed as a result of foul play. It's always a horrible thing to think, but it is a possibility. It does happen, it has happened, and it definitely could have happened to him, sadly. The second thing that could have happened is Robert was possibly harmed as a result of intoxication and the inability to navigate his way home. So, if he'd been drinking or possibly even taken some substances, did this affect him in a way that when he was walking, he wasn't really fully aware of his surroundings and maybe he could have had an accident, or maybe he went somewhere he shouldn't have, or he got himself into some trouble. The third point is Robert was abducted. I mean, he's an older guy. He wasn't necessarily a young child, but he was still technically a child with his age. There's a possibility he was abducted. There's a possibility that somebody took him against his own free will. We're not really going to know that, but maybe one day, if that did happen, we would find out. The fourth point then is Robert left and decided to not return home. That's a huge possibility given his age. A lot of young people do run away from home. I did it myself when I was a kid. It's sort of a natural thing. However, you usually find within a few hours that you can't survive on your own and you need to go home. And I don't think, as much as he might have had a row with his mum, based on their relationship and how Robert presented himself, I don't think he would have intentionally have tried to run away, but we're not going to know that. And the fifth possibility is that Robert ended his own life. This is obviously a horrible thought and something to consider, but it is also a possibility. It doesn't seem likely that he would have done that, given that his intentions were go and socialise and be around other people, but we don't know what was going on in his mind at the time. Perhaps he was feeling depressed and quite low, and there's no notification or information on this, so I wouldn't really know that. But it is strange that Robert didn't return home early hours the evening of the party. It is a complete mystery to this day and remains one of the most significant missing persons cases ever faced by South Wales Police. Online sleuths can do a world of good through research, and we ultimately want to help provide closure for everyone involved. So please do let us know if you find any advancements in the case or know anything that may be able to help. There are some questions from my viewers, and you're welcome to sort of, share the video and talk about this with friends and family. Maybe people that live locally who've lived there for the last 20 odd years, who know Robert and his family. But there's some questions I've come up with that perhaps, people might be able to answer or could ask other people. So the first question is, were you at the house party on Saturday 23rd of March 2002? So you're talking over 22 years ago. It's a long time ago and people might not remember, but I remember a lot of house parties from when I was a lot younger. There is a possibility. So, if you're watching this video, do you remember anything? Do you remember seeing Robert? Did you see or hear anything unusual? So, you know, when people are intoxicated or under the influence, they're not always got their wits about them and their surroundings. They're not really sure, you know, everything that's going on. But did you like hear a scream, or did you see people fighting? Was there any animosity between people? Was there any awkwardness? Like, were you aware that perhaps, you know, there was maybe a girl that liked him and she had a boyfriend and there was like this love triangle? It could be anything like that, but from your memory, did you see or hear anything unusual? The next one is, did you see Robert leave the house party and head anywhere in particular? So, leaving the property, wherever the house was, did you see him leave, and did you see whether he headed east or west, or it could be north, or it could be south direction, I guess? Do you remember seeing him leave? The next one is, did you see Robert talking to anyone or taking part in group conversation? So that's probably likely to have happened with him being with a group of people. But then, you know, we don't know the details over the house party that he attended, who he was actually with, or whether he was familiar with anyone there. It could have been the case that he gate crashed somebody's party just because he knew it. Maybe he didn't know anybody. So he could have maybe just been sitting in the corner, or, you know, sort of drinking to himself, or maybe he knew one person. But if you can cast your memory back, do you remember him speaking to anyone in particular? The next question then is, were you heading home when the party was over and saw Robert alone, or did you see him with anyone else? So if you were leaving and he was leaving at perhaps the same time, or you were on your way out, did you notice him with anyone, or was he alone? And also, next question, do you recall seeing Robert at any point that night into the early hours? Quite simple, really. Do you remember seeing him at all? You know, some people might not. He was quite distinctive looking because of his sort of curtain style hair that was quite popular at that time. The next question is then, have you heard any rumours or stories around Robert's disappearance, or have you overheard conversation or seen anything unusual? So, rumours are a big thing. You know, people share things and they talk about people going missing, and did you hear this, did you hear that? But if you've heard something and you've never shared it, and you think maybe I could share that because it might be relevant, please do share it. You can do it completely anonymously with Crimestoppers. It is genuinely anonymous as well, but even still, you can go to the police, and the details to contact them will be below the video. Number 8, did you see Robert being followed or see anyone acting unusual around him? So was it a case of, you know, he might have had a stalker, or perhaps somebody just genuinely was like staring and glaring at him and might have made him feel uncomfortable, and then that's why he was, you know, sort of left and just went out his own way? That could be quite significant if anyone was acting a bit bizarre around him. And then number 9, are you aware of anyone being out that night who may have had a grudge against Robert? So were you familiar with Robert and his friends, and was there any sort of history around arguing, or, you know, they not necessarily getting on together, etc.? And then number 10, did you speak to Robert, and did he say anything of concern, and how did he seem? So if you remember speaking to him, how did he present himself? Was he bubbly and happy and, you know, a bit tipsy and laughing, or did he seem quite withdrawn and quiet and maybe a bit shy? You know, based on his personality, I don't think he was a shy person, but sometimes when you're in social situations, you naturally feel a bit out of place, so you kind of, you know, introvert yourself. And then number 10, were you present at the second apparent house party, and did you see Robert there? So this has never been confirmed by police for the second party on the 23rd of September. That's why the word apparent is used, because it's never been confirmed. It would be interesting if people knew the address or the location of where this house party was, if it was still within Aberdulais, or maybe it could have been a bit further away. But if you were there, do you remember seeing Robert there, or do you have any other information around that? I just want to finish the video with the fact that Missing Mysteries as a channel, it's always been my thing that I don't share my personal opinion on what's happened to somebody. I don't think is appropriate. I guess in general conversation, one-to-one with people, I might share my thoughts, but for the purpose of family, friends, loved ones who might be watching this video, I don't like to express what I think might have happened. But with Robert, you know, he seemed like a relatively smart kid, typical teenager. He liked his sport, he liked his balls, you know, football, rugby, quite a handsome young man at the time. You know, and he went to a house party, that's been confirmed. Anything could have happened to him. And, you know, if you've got any ideas or suggestions, or even if you were there, if you knew of Robert, please comment and message below, because sometimes little key messages can be really helpful. My aim for any of my videos is to help spread awareness, help jog people's memories, and, you know, hopefully one day we can help find the missing person, and I can share information with the police as well. If you want to share something anonymously, please don't come to me, because I do really have a moral duty and obligation to share it on to the police and local authorities. So if you want to do something anonymously, I'd say go to Crimestoppers. You could do it online, you can do an online form, or you can call them. I'm not sure if they've got an online chat, but please reach out. And also, Robert is an open case on the missingpeople.org website as well. You can download his poster, and of course please leave your comments as respectfully as possible, because if Robert's family and friends see this, they're open to seeing your comments as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions or you want to get in touch with me, you're welcome to do that. And thank you for watching my first video, which includes my face. So nice to meet you all, and we'll see you on the next video. Be safe and take care. Bye.